Hi, this is Mark Rogers, and I want to talk a little bit about fat and people's misconceptions on fat. Most people think that fat is bad and that they should avoid it at all costs, which is not the case most of the time. The fats that you want to avoid are the kinds of fats that you're going to find in a number of crackers and processed foods, convenience food items, fast food items, those types of things. You also probably notice that food manufacturers and food stores and all these types of places, restaurants, are now very conscious of trans fats, so they're cutting down on those, or at least they're focusing on labeling the products as such. So you can be a little bit more aware of those types of things. However, the biggest problem is just because it says 0 grams of trans fats doesn't mean that it has no trans fat. It's more or less, if it's below a certain amount per serving, then they can label it as 0 grams of trans fats. But the bottom line is, if it's a processed food and it has hydrogenated oil in it of any kind, it's still going to be bad for you, and it's still going to be damaged fat that is ultimately unhealthy and is going to cause you problems in your body. What you have to remember is that your body makes many things from fat. Your cells, the cell membranes, are composed largely of fat. Many hormones are produced as a result of fat. Is involved in the process, and there are a variety of other things. Various vitamins are important. Vitamin D is something that people are concerned about, and that's a fat-soluble vitamin. And you really have to focus on eating good fats, which it's challenging because most vegetable oils are not good. They're damaged from the time you get them. They've already been heavily processed and cooked and this, that, and the other thing, even when you get them in the store. And the types of oils that you really want to use, coconut oil is a good one to cook with. It's very heat tolerant, up to over 300 and some degrees, so you can actually cook with it and not have any damage done to the fat. It also has a lot of antiviral, antifungal substances in it that are very good for you. It's good for your skin, etc. Olive oil is good, however, you have to be careful not to cook it too much. If you cook it above, a saute type of level, then it's going to cause damage to it also. So you want to be careful with cooking with olive oil. You can put it on salads and so forth, but for cooking you want to stick with coconut oil. But fats, by and large, do not cause you to get fat. They actually, in many cases, act to keep you from getting fat, because if you eat plenty of fat, then you won't be as likely to eat a lot of carbohydrates, especially sugars, which cause the majority of the obesity problem. Refined processed sugars, people don't do enough activity that they really need those, and the fact is excess sugar gets converted into body fat, whereas if you cut back in that area, the sugar area, and you consume more fat and protein that's of good quality, your body actually will shift and begin to use the fat and the protein that you eat to generate energy, as opposed to relying on sugar. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to, and at first you might feel some withdrawal symptoms because of your potential, or I should say probable, addiction to sweet or sugary items. But if you can shift away from that toward good quality fat and protein, you'll be much better off.